Welcome, evil butlers, to Geek Salad's reviews, because we're not retroing this month
Not
for the
when
Geek
it came out
Salad
like 2
podcast.
months ago.
I'm Andy,
I'm Mike.
and tonight we are continuing in our discussion of the Netflix adaptation of the manga One Piece with episodes 3 and 4.
Yes.
What's that?
The introduction of the great pirate captain Usopp.
Yes. Yes, or as they kept pronouncing him, Aesop.
Really?
Yeah, I was hearing Aesop.
Oh.
So, and there are 2 episodes here, which is Tell No Tales coming. And it's interesting. So this is our first story, our first 2-episode arc story, which if you watched last week, I was kind of I'm still kind of on the fence about this. This one worked, I think, better.
Okay,
episodes 3 and 4, I felt worked better. And I know you said last week these are kind of the weaker. These are the weaker episodes in the series.
Yeah, for me, these 2 are the weakest ones. Not that I didn't like them, just compared to all the other episodes. This story arc is the one that I was this least invested in. I was still invested, just not as much as the other ones.
Right. I mean, they're still setting the table. Bringing Aesop in to the crew, getting them a real ship.
Yeah. The Going Merry.
There was definitely some stuff about this. There are certain things within episodes 3 and 4 that I felt didn't change to my liking. Mainly because I still think Luffy is annoying as hell. He and in this episode, more than any others, he really turned into that. One of the most annoying anime tropes I've seen is the guy who just needs to keep eating. He's like Goku. I just can't. I have to keep eating. I have to keep eating. I need to keep eating.
Yeah, that is one of his traits, and it is definitely an anime trope that you see all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm okay with it, mainly because I'm so used to it in so many other series that doesn't bother me.
Yeah. I thought that Zoro, I really enjoyed watching a little bit more of Zoro's backstory, though.
Yeah. Zoro's backstory is definitely one of the high points of this episode, these 2 episodes.
I felt like they did a great job humanizing him. Nami, same thing. They gave her a little more humanization, and essentially just so she could just girl the girl with Kaya in terms of
that is one of the nice scenes, and I did love the scene where she's trying to pick out the dress and the other 2 keep shooting it down.
Yeah,
I hate you 2 so much right now.
It's weird though, because they brought up the whole they brought up at the end of episode 2 that Nami is working for somebody else, and they kind of almost immediately dropped that within the first 5 minutes of episode 3, and it never comes back. So I don't know, because you've seen all 8 episodes, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going in fresh every week, so
yeah, that will come back. Don't worry.
Okay, it will come. Okay, good. This was interesting too. All right, so I'll admit, having Luffy and Usopp in the same story was a little much for me, because I don't like either character at all. In fact, and here's why I'm saying I kept hearing it as Aesop, because they set the character up as for all these years, the pirates are coming, the pirates are coming, the pirates are coming. Nobody believes in the pirates are coming. Then finally, when the pirates are there, Aesop's fable. Nobody believes him.
All right, I never put that connection together, but you're spot on.
I saw it immediately. It was like, the pirates are coming. They're not coming, but they are coming. For this. Yeah, it was a bit much, and I haven't seen the anime. Haven't read the manga, so to me, this is all brand new.
Yeah, and again, like same thing with me. I've like I knew of the anime, but beyond like Luffy's stretchy powers and Zoro being a green haired swordsman,
Yeah,
I really didn't know too much. Usopp. I really didn't know anything about him.
yep.
Other than
He has a slingshot.
in the anime, I this is just the way Oda draws it with
Mhm.
exaggerated features, but his nose is like this long. Yeah, I don't know why Oda drew him like that, but I much prefer this actor.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad they didn't put like a prosthetic on him,
yeah. I do appreciate that because there's plenty of prosthetics to be had in this. I
especially
will.
with especially when they introduced the fishmen.
Yes. Okay. I will say that Calidor,
Kuro.
Kuro,
Yeah. His fake name was Calidor.
right? I
Claude.
felt like he looked straight out of the anime. From the costume, I noticed that with the collar, how it curled up.
Yeah.
I actually, and not anime fan, I appreciated that. I appreciated how it looked.
Mm.
Like a lot of the way that he stood with like his finger blades,
Mm.
very anime-esque. However,
I did love how he just always fixing his glasses. Yeah.
yeah, that was cool. Now I don't know if that is in the anime as well, or if that's
I
just
think so.
I would assume so. I will say, for as like close as they most likely have gotten that my mind's eye is looking at with this character being a direct translation, man, what works well in a cartoon looks really dumb
You're talking
live
about
action.
his cronies in their full costumes, right?
Well, again, and that's something I could picture too. No, the finger blades look kind of clunky and dumb in live action versus what I assume would be like this amazing, like, still slash where you just see the movement of the waves of the air and all that.
So you're saying you kind of wanted it more Freddy Krueger?
No, I don't know what it's tough because I understand this is the character trait, and a lot of the stills or when he stood still with them, it was cool. But when he was moving around with them, it was like, and it looked silly. Yeah, his henchmen. Oh my god. Again, I could picture. That's the thing, is that I have a very active imagination, and I could very much picture what they would have looked like, animated.
Yeah, like when they were just like in their butlers costumes and maid costumes, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, when they came out in the full pirate gears, their cat pirate gears, I'm like, she looked fine. He looked goofy as AF.
Yeah, no, seriously, he was. Yeah, what the hell? This is weird. They keep changing the character things here. Oh yeah, Bucci.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
was just. I mean,
Bucci
this was it was interesting because we finally were starting to set the pieces in motion. I felt more so than the first two episodes.
Yeah.
Kobe was able to do stuff
in
this. I actually liked that. I liked his interaction with Garp in terms of that game.
Yeah.
That they played, where he said, "You're too afraid to lose. You should be playing to win." And the second he changed his mind about that, I thought that was cool. I hate the character design.
Of who? Of
Kobe.
Oh. I'm used to it. It's more of an anime style with the
right. And to me, he is the character that is still most. And I said this last week. He's the character who is most evocative of a series of unfortunate events from Netflix, not even from the books, just from Netflix. He looks like that kind of character. The Marines' outfits look like uniforms from Series of Unfortunate Events.
I will say the relationship between Garp and Kobe is really one of the strong points, I think. From that
I like that too, because I like that Garp isn't a pure villain. Like, I feel like we're going to get more about him. We've already teased that at the
especially
end
with
of episode 4.
Yeah, with how episode 4 ends. Because apparently in the anime, they don't reveal that until like episode 400 or so. They really pull that forward because I guess they give Garp plays a very light role in the earlier episodes. So by pulling him forward and making him more of the not villain but antagonist of it necessitated the revelation earlier.
Yeah.
And I thought they did great.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Also, we don't know what the shelf life of the show is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 8 episodes now. There is going to be a season 2. This isn't going to go 1,000 episodes like the anime is. It's going to have a finite shelf life of maybe 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Before the novelty wears off. Before.
Yeah, and I mean, given that Oda still hasn't finished the actual manga, they can only go so long before they hit a Game of Thrones situation.
Yeah, seriously. But I don't know if Goda is in any danger of eating himself to death first. But
no.
Yeah, this was an interesting episode because I don't have we're already at the halfway point of the season. And I don't have the other 4 episodes to compare it to yet. So I don't know if this will still stand for me as being as kind of like the lesser episodes. I did like having that concise story. I felt like the character beats that they allowed some of these characters to grow and learn from lessons and be able to kind of find that inner strength like Zoro did.
Yeah.
Getting out of that well. That was really cool. And again, with Nami just being, finding that there are good people out there.
Yeah. Just because, because it's like, even like in episode 2, when she was like, I hate all pirates, they're all the same. And then by the end of it, she realizes that no, Luffy is actually a different type of pirate. He's a pirate that wants to help people, not just and just like in these episodes, she's like, no, rich people are all the same. They're just trying to get money for themselves. She's like, no, Kaya is actually a really nice person.
Yeah. I could have done without Luffy's 4th wall break at the end of episode 4, though.
Which one?
Whips his head back and says that I still can't remember the name of that.
Gum Gum Bell.
Gum Gum Bell.
Yeah, all his special moves are Gum Gum something because he has Gum Gum fruit.
And it's just, I understand. Again, that is an anime trope. That is the you're gonna use your power. You're gonna call it out. I watch enough Grandizer to know that.
I mean, I like how they even made fun of that in episode 1.
It was episode 1, yeah. Oh, you always call out your move. And then, the funny thing is, it didn't occur to me then that that's what they were doing. And then when he finally did it in this one, I'm like, oh. And he broke the 4th wall to do this. I truly do not like this character at all.
I don't know. I really like Luffy. I actually, from what I know and what I've read in the manga, as little as it is, and from what I've heard from other people that have like read everything, Iñaki Godoy is pretty much spot on. And I mean, even Eiichiro Oda, the mangaka, he approved of all the casting, so he was totally down for.
And I can definitely tell that. I can definitely tell in this, especially when we talked about this last week, and again this week with just the overall art direction. Yeah, the casting, the art direction, the music, even the cinematography and stuff are very evocative.
Yeah.
Of that. I think they're doing a great job with that. And again, where it struggles, and it struggles for me, is the fact that it's still not. I feel like I'm still kind of on the outside looking in to watch it. I'm not feeling that, as someone who's not a fan of anime, that I'm really being welcomed in. I'm just like, okay, come on in, watch these people, you know, emulate this style of animation that you're not a huge fan of. Sit and just deal with us.
All right, that makes sense.
I'm still not feeling welcome.
Well, I welcome you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as, when, it's like, well, you just haven't seen the right one. I haven't seen the right 15 of them then, 16, 20. But that's the thing, too, because I just saw that they released the trailer for Dragon Ball Z. Not Dragon Ball Z. Avatar. Last Airbender.
Oh, yes, I heard that they did that. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, they've done the live action one of that. And I'm like, people are losing their mind. Well, first of all, they're losing their minds because they finally get the casting right.
Yeah.
They actually are using people of color for this. But they're but I don't know if it's going to be one of those things. Now, so The Last Airbender is American, right?
Yes, it was American made.
Right, right. So I'm not sure.
I think they animated it in Japan, but it was American made, American designed,
right.
American cast.
Yeah.
And that's another one that I've heard tons of great things about. Never watched a single episode.
Okay. Because again, I don't know how welcoming is that going to be to people like myself who just, if you want to hook us in, but it's like we're gonna we want to hook you in, but you have to play this game by our terms in order to do that. And I think that again, we're halfway through now, so I'm gonna see when we get to 5 and 6 next week, where
I'll say, for me, 5 and 6 are probably my favorite episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, they introduce a few new characters that are really fun.
Okay.
I
was actually a little surprised, only because, in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking of this as being kind of like family entertainment, that this is a fairly violent show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, watching, Mary get
shish
kebab, yeah. That was surprising to me. There was a surprising amount of death in there, even with, like Buggy's, disembodiments.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. Those are kind of rough.
And I will say, like, when Kuro's got the mansion locked down and he's hunting him, that is actually kind of almost a horror-esque vibe to it.
Yeah.
When he's just trailing his blades along the wall, it gave me very much Freddy Krueger vibes.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, overall, I'm still invested in this series.
I do want to ask you about one character that they do also introduce in this one. You just see him briefly, but Arlong.
Which
shark guy?
Oh, the shark guy.
Yeah, the one that they bring Buggy to see.
Right, exactly. Kind of tough to figure out the whole deal.
Yeah.
With Arlong.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're only being given little bits and pieces right now, but it's also like I am a shark. Oh, you're also a man. What's going on?
Fish people. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now that one, if they're trying to emulate the anime, they definitely did. It looks like a makeup job. Yeah. It's not as immersive as some of the other pieces of art direction, some of the costuming that they've gone with on this.
Yeah.
Right now it looks clunky.
Yeah. It's just like that's one of the things you really have to kind of get used to, is that there are like fish people, there are sheep people, there are mice people, there are a lot more different just people than just humans that populate this world.
Right. So we're just going to get a bunch of, we're essentially going to get a lot of like Pirates of the Caribbean 3 type of characters here. You're gonna get your Davy Jones people, and you're
oh yeah, especially in episode 7 and 8.
7 and okay, so we gotta wait 2 weeks for that one then.
Yeah.
No, well.
Although you do get a couple in the next couple episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I have I found these 2 episodes more enjoyable, especially because the focus was really taken off of Luffy, sorry. It was definitely, it gave us more to look at in terms of Nami and Zoro. I was really thrilled with that. I'm interested in seeing, going forward on 5 and 6, where we go from here and what adventures they find themselves in. And if we're going to see any more character development, because that is the biggest part of this that's I enjoyed about this, was getting that growth of character from those 2 who are currently still sitting as my favorite characters on this show.
Yeah, I mean, but you're not wrong. They are fantastic characters.
Yeah.
Just a little warning, just so it doesn't really sour the milk a little bit. Usopp is mainly there for comic relief.
Shit.
I don't know how he is in the manga, but in this one, doesn't have a whole lot to do in this season.
Okay.
That's probably going to change in the next season, but right now, over the next 4 episodes, he does a couple of things, but he's mainly comic relief.
Okay.
You're throwing it out there, just so you're prepared.
I appreciate the warning.
Yes.
For me, that is a content warning.
Yes.
This might trigger some of you, like me.
Trust, in the next 2 episodes, introduce characters that are much more than comic relief.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to checking those out because, as we approach the final couple of weeks of the month.
Oh, actually, one last thing I do want to ask you about the first episode. I forgot to ask you last time. That the narrator that you hear at the very beginning introducing the world and all that.
Yeah.
You recognize the voice.
It's Ian McShane.
You got it. Wasn't sure if you got that or not.
Honestly, I saw it in IMDb when I was looking at the other names of the other actors and where have I seen them before. So it was there. Sorry. But it wasn't even impressive at first.
I was like, I was really proud of you. And
Yeah, no.
Oh, well.
But yeah, okay. Well, like I said, I am looking forward to watching 5 and 6. We'll see how that goes. Really, this is going to be the kind of show, though. For me, it's going to have to stick the landing. If we talk about this 2 years or so from now, when they finally do season 2, whether or not I really feel satisfied enough to continue on.
Well,
I'm a little over the fence at this point with this. I'm not on the fence. I am enjoying what I'm seeing right now.
Okay.
So we'll just take it from there and see how we finish up.
Hopefully sooner rather than later, because apparently the actors strike just ended. Actor
strike did just end. Now they can start filming it, and
yeah, well, because the writers they've probably been working on it in the last.
They've been working on it for the last month since they resolved their strike. But
yeah,
hey, I'm just happy the actor strike is finally over. So,
yay!
We'll get stuff again. So anyway, that is our thoughts on One Piece episodes 3 and 4. We want to know, if you've been watching it, what are your thoughts on, most specifically, those 2 episodes? Do you have a favorite character? Do you still prefer the anime or the manga more so than this live action version? You can leave a polite comment below. We'd love to. Yes.
Kind of nice little fact. Apparently, when they dubbed it into Japanese, they actually got the voice actors for the Japanese characters to dub them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's a big fraternity, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Japanese voice actors are much more respected than American voice actors are.
Oh, yes, they are. So anyway, you can check. Leave a comment below if you want to let us know your thoughts on there. Subscribe if you haven't already. We do this every week, so check that out too. We are not doing retros this month. We'll be back next month to do some retro reviews. But if you're a horror fan, we also did October's 1970s horror, which you might enjoy. Mike and I also host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts, including the audio drop that drops here as well on YouTube. But if you prefer to listen to it elsewhere, we are on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Apple. And we're also on YouTube Music as well. At least we'll be transitioning over there once Google Podcasts goes away. You can also follow us on the socials. We are at Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast and at Geek Salad Radio on Twixter, Blue Sky, and Threads. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth. Heavy Nerdful. See you next week.